A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing people out there to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And in this channeling session, I would be channeling the letter from Divine Masculine. Before I start the letter, I would like to tell you that if you need any personal healing, any personal reading, or you want to know about your own journey individually, then you can connect with me. You can check out the details in the description box. So I will start the letter now. My dear love, in this letter of mine, I want to make a confession. That though I want to connect with you really desperately, I'm so upset that I sometimes want to break stuff around me in frustration. Though I imagine meeting you and grabbing you to pull you towards me, I also imagine that you will push me away and punch me in my stomach and walk away with my bleeding heart in your hand. Why is this happening to me? Sometimes I feel you can read my mind. I also feel that it's do or die. But I won't be able to face if this dies. Our connection cannot die. It's not worth dying. It's supposed to grow. It's supposed to be built onto something beautiful. What we have doesn't deserve to end like this. I also know that it's just a matter of time when we would be back together. Because being here without you is hard for me. I also feel that I am the athlete on a racing ground who is waiting for the clap, the gunshot to begin the race. And though I'm all prepared and ready, but I'm not willing to lose this race. My fear is, what if I lose? And that's why I keep getting cold feet. I don't want to lose you. You look lovely when you're happy. You look amazing when you smile. I want to keep that with me. I know I made you cry. I know I did a lot of bad things to you. But I did not know much. I did not know any better. If I knew any better, do you think I would have done this? I feel very guilty. This burden is very heavy. And I'm not happy. But what should I do? I can't leave the racetrack, and I'm not scared to say that too. I feel that you might not forgive me. I'm scared for that. I'm scared. But I'm human. I can also make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But I'm ready to change. I'm ready to work on myself. I want to give this a chance. I know there is no other option for me because I'm tired of all the things. It doesn't make any sense. Where would I go if I keep running away from you? I want to tell you something. I keep coming back to you. I keep coming back to you. I don't know why. I used to question myself that why do I keep coming back to this girl? What does she have in her that I keep coming back to her? And I thought that it's just some kind of impossible dream. But now, I don't think like that. I know why I keep coming back to you. Because I love you and you love me. And what we have is real. What we have is true. It cannot be compared with anything else. I wanted to contact you some time back also. But then I saw some stuff online that you had shared. And looking at those angry words, I was very sure that it wasn't the right time back then. Maybe you were writing for someone else or something else, but I just felt that it's pointed towards me in some way. I could be wrong, but I was like, no, she won't even talk to you now. She won't even talk to you. And I would make it worse. I didn't want to make it worse. I felt that you even hated the thought of me. Your words were pointing in that direction that you won't accept me at all. Of course, it was my guilt. Guilty of avoiding your calls. Guilty of saying mean things to you when we did speak. And guilty of always picking fights. Guilty of looking at your innocence and pure love as manipulation. And the worst guilt of mine was to go to someone else. It's been hard for me to accept that I committed the biggest form of betrayal. It wasn't just a mistake, rather it was a blunder. How would you understand this? You have to be in my shoes to understand this. You have to be in my place to understand this. Maybe you were also with someone else. Maybe you also figured out that you can't be with someone else. So first I had to face my own self and put 2 plus 2 into perspective. And I learned that all this logic and calculation, this is what has been coming between us. For quite some time I preferred to blame you for everything I did wrong. Because blaming you felt right. And then I figured out that I have to change myself also. You would be very happy to know that I removed my addictions and the habit of being dependent, of being an escapist. I am no longer escaping from reality. And the biggest reality is that I love you and you love me. I'm yours forever. My biggest guilt was that I never technically ended things with you. I took you for granted. Because I thought you're always there for me. You're always available. I did treat you like a doormat. I thought you will come back to me after some time like you always used to do. So I ignored your messages. I ghosted you even though in my heart I was still fully committed to you and only you. You are my life partner, but I still went to someone else. Because what was I good at doing? Just escaping from reality. So can you see how many dark nights I have faced? Can you see how much pain I have gone through? All those moments of self-blame, of regret, of deep, deep, deep regret. I feel that I served a hard sentence. Because what I did to you, it haunted me. And I always felt that you are so amazing and attractive after all. If not with me, I'm sure you would find someone else to be with you. And I blame myself for that. I actually used to think that You deserve someone better, not me, not a guy like me. But guess what? Now I'm sure that I deserve you and you deserve me. I'm not a bad person. I love you. It's only because I went to other people I understand that I cannot be with you. Before trying that out, I thought I could be with you. I could keep it as an option, but now that's not an option for me ever. Not in this life, not in any other. Even though there is a deep longing in me, I'm scared to come across as someone who's looking for a hookup. I know it's not so easy. I want to face you. I want to accept my imperfections. I was hiding them from you. And I always acted like I'm doing some kind of favor. The regret is really making me mad. But I have no one else to blame other than my own self for what I did. So in a way, it's good that we were away from each other, because if you were near me, I would have kept blaming you and I would have kept troubling you and torturing you, and we would have gone nowhere from there. At least by being away from you for some time, I do realize that I was creating all of this. I didn't want to make you my priority. I had so many other things on my plate. And after you went away, I could have done all those things. I had all the time in the world to do it. And still I could not focus on those things. Still I could not put my mind on those things. And that made me realize that without you, I cannot even focus on the things I want to do. You are my actual priority. Even though you were not around, you were still my priority. So how could I not make you my priority back then? I remember in the past, your calls and messages, your presence on your phone, in my eyes was a big distraction. I know I'm sorry for that, but whenever you called me or you messaged me, you got angry. I didn't fully understand what we have. I knew in my heart, but I was looking for some signs from you. We were both playing a game, I felt. So there are so many things that I'm guilty of, and that's why I'm making this confessional letter. I have been with many women too, and I had a lot of ego about having experience, but now I feel that experience does not come from this. Experience comes from genuinely being in love with someone. What I experienced with you, I never experienced with anyone else. And yet I said some nasty things to you. And you know what? God made sure that I pay for it all. I have paid for everything. I feel I have paid for everything and I no longer want to pay. I just want to be with you. But I'm so scared of you. I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want you to think that I can just walk away from you and then come back to you as and when I like. And I don't expect you to forget everything like it never happened. I understand your point of view. I know you might not want to do anything with me. I know that I overreacted back then. I got very angry for things that weren't so big. But it seems I had to figure all this out myself. I had to figure this out, that our connection is real. And I'm apologetic, and there's a constant feeling in me that wants you. I just feel that you might not receive me, that you might not accept me, that you will be cold towards me, cold as ice. Some of the things you spoke about the spiritual things, about the connection, about emotions, about heart, about feelings. No other girl had spoken to me about these things. No other girl told me that there is a life beyond this world. No one told me that we can do so many other things. I was living in my own shell. I had my own world. You came from outside somewhere and you changed everything. I could not basically understand those things. All of that change in my mind was too big. And maybe I believed, a part of me very strongly believed that none of this is real. But I understand now that my soul, I can't believe that I talk like this now. My soul actually has a connection with you. I have a very strong connection with you. And that connection is not to do with body. That connection has not to do anything with sexuality. Because I feel that I can get it anywhere. But what I cannot get is the love. What I cannot get anywhere else is you. And I want that you. I want you to be in my life forever. With all of these feelings, I have one final question. If I come back to you after such a long time, then doesn't it mean something? Doesn't it mean that I feel for you? Will you accept me back? Will you receive me? Will you forgive me? Will you let me be with you? That's not just one question, right? I have all these questions, and I hope the answer is yes. Would it be a yes? Please tell me.